Imagine walking into a hospital at night, the long, empty corridors, the sound of your own footsteps echoing, and the faint flicker of fluorescent lights above your head. Hospitals are usually places of healing, but sometimes they carry stories that are far from comforting. Today we're going to talk about one of the most haunted hospitals in America, a place where the past still lingers and where many believe restless souls continue to wander. This is the story of the Waverly Hills Sanatorium in Kentucky. Built in the early 1900s, it was once a massive hospital designed to treat patients suffering from tuberculosis, a disease that spread quickly and had no real cure at the time. People called it the White Plague because of how many lives it claimed. Waverly Hills became home to thousands of patients, but it was also a place where thousands died. The walls of that hospital witnessed more pain and suffering than most of us could ever imagine. Now picture this: patients who were isolated from their families, doctors trying experimental treatments, and the constant shadow of death hanging in the air. Over the years, Waverly Hills gained a reputation not just as a hospital, but as a place of sorrow. And sorrow, as many people believe, has a way of staying behind long after the people are gone. One of the most chilling parts of the hospital's history is something called the body chute. It was a long tunnel built under the building, used to secretly transport dead bodies away so that other patients wouldn't see how many people were dying. Imagine lying in bed, fighting for your life, and knowing that every day more and more of your fellow patients were being carried down that dark tunnel. Even today, visitors say they feel an icy presence there, as if the souls of those who never left are still watching. Over the years, countless stories have come out of Waverly Hills. Visitors report hearing footsteps when no one is there, doors slamming on their own, and shadowy figures appearing in the hallways. Some people claim to see a young girl playing with a ball, while others have spotted a man in a white coat, wandering the corridors as if still doing his hospital rounds. Paranormal investigators from around the world have spent nights inside, and many of them left convinced that something beyond the natural world lives there. So the question is, are these just ghost stories? Or is Waverly Hills truly America's most haunted hospital? Why do places like this fascinate us so much? Part of it is the mystery. Hospitals are already places of strong emotions: fear, hope, pain, healing. And when so many lives are lost in one place, it leaves behind an energy that's hard to ignore. Even if you don't believe in ghosts, the history itself is enough to send a chill down your spine. But there's also something important we can learn from such stories. Waverly Hills reminds us of a time when diseases like tuberculosis had no cure, and entire hospitals were built just to try and contain the outbreak. It shows us how far modern medicine has come. Today, tuberculosis is treatable with antibiotics, and countless lives are saved because of medical research, vaccinations, and better healthcare facilities. It also teaches us to value our health more deeply. Back then, people didn't always have the chance to recover. Families were torn apart, patients were kept in isolation, and fear spread faster than the disease itself. Today, we often take things like regular checkups, access to medicine, and even simple hygiene for granted. But these are the very things that keep us safe from experiencing the same tragedies that haunted places like Waverly Hills. If you ever find yourself fascinated by haunted locations, remember that behind every ghost story, there's usually a very real history of human struggle. Instead of just thinking of it as a scary tale, try to imagine the people who lived through it, the patients who hoped for recovery, the doctors who tried their best with limited knowledge, and the families who prayed for their loved ones. Their experiences are reminders of why health, wellness, and compassion matter so much in our lives today. So whether or not you believe in ghosts, the story of America's most haunted hospital has something to offer all of us. It's a story about loss and fear, but also about progress and hope. We've come a long way since the days of Waverly Hills, and each step forward in medicine is a victory over the darkness of the past. And maybe, just maybe, that's the real lesson hidden in these haunted halls. That no matter how deep the shadows, there is always light waiting to break through. Thank you for listening to this story. If you enjoyed it, make sure to stay connected for more real stories that mix history, health, and the mysteries that surround us. Until next time, take care of yourself, value your health, and remember, sometimes the scariest stories are also the ones that teach us the most.